In the moments after the final whistle of the 1978 World Cup, an armless fan vaulted the barricades and ran toward the pitch. He found the Argentine goalkeeper, Ubaldo Fiol, and threw his empty sleeves around him. This embrace remains one of the purest captures of unfiltered human emotion in the history of international sports. But that singular moment of triumph sits on top of a heavily engineered foundation. Leading up to June 1978, the Argentine state mobilized an infrastructure investment of nearly $700 million to host the tournament. This capital was deployed directly by the military junta, self-styled as the National Reorganization Process. For dictator Jorge Rafael Videla, the tournament served as an international propaganda tool designed to legitimize a totalitarian regime and distract from its ongoing atrocities. Against this brutal political machinery, the sporting event itself presented a flawless aesthetic. This was the debut of the Adidas Tango Durlast, a ball whose sharp, interlocking geometry defined the visual language of the sport for the next 5 tournaments. The global community recognized this dissonance. Organizations like Amnesty International launched aggressive boycott campaigns, publishing the severe human rights violations taking place just blocks from the stadiums, including records of 15,000 disappeared civilians and 10,000 illegal detentions. The tournament functioned as a dual machine, a state apparatus engineered for propaganda, and a high-stakes sporting environment that forced a significant evolution in tactical discipline, athletic performance, and team management. The tactical landscape of the tournament was heavily distorted before a single match was played, defined largely by the absence of 2 pivotal figures. The first was the premier player in the world at the time, Johan Cruyff. For decades, historians assumed Cruyff boycotted the tournament to protest the Argentine dictatorship. Years later, he revealed the actual reason for his withdrawal. His family had survived a traumatic kidnapping attempt in Barcelona shortly before the competition began. The second major absence was engineered entirely by the Argentine camp. Manager Cesar Luis Menotti operated with a rigid, calculating tactical philosophy designed to withstand immense domestic pressure. Exactly 13 days before kickoff, Menotti made a high-stakes gamble. He cut a 17-year-old prodigy named Diego Maradona from the final squad. Menotti deliberately sacrificed raw, generational genius. He prioritized a battle-tested, systematic approach, what he called lyrical football, ensuring every player strictly adhered to his tactical blueprint. Despite the junta's desire for absolute control, the athletic reality of the first phase was remarkably volatile. A $700 million budget proved incapable of preventing basic organizational failures. When France and Hungary arrived for their match, both teams brought white jerseys. To proceed, the French squad had to borrow the green and white striped kits from a local Mar del Plata club, Kimberley, to finish the game. This map displays the first major statistical disruption of the group stage. Tunisia's 3-1 victory over Mexico marked the absolute first time an African nation won a match in World Cup history. Then came the ultimate upset of the phase. Austria eliminated the defending champions, West Germany, slipping the ball past the defense for a stunning 3-2 finish. The match carries heavy cultural weight to this day. Known in Austria as the Miracle of Cordoba and in Germany as the Disgrace of Cordoba, the result ended a 47-year Austrian winless streak against their neighbors. These anomalies proved a critical point. The sport itself was inherently unpredictable. It actively threatened the perfect nationalist narrative demanded by the state. As the tournament moved to the second phase, a severe structural flaw in the formatting was exposed. The crucial group matches did not have simultaneous kickoffs. This chart illustrates the staggered timing that gave Argentina a massive chronological advantage. They played their final group match against Peru only after Brazil's result against Poland was already finalized. Because of this sequence, the Argentine team knew their precise mathematical target before stepping onto the pitch. They needed to win by exactly 4 goals to surpass Brazil and reach the final. Moments before this decisive match, a severe geopolitical anomaly occurred inside the stadium. It is a confirmed historical fact that dictator Videla, accompanied by the former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, physically entered the Peruvian locker room to speak directly to the visiting players. What followed was a complete collapse by Peru. Argentina won 6-0. This mathematically perfect result fulfilled the exact quota required: cementing match-fixing allegations that persist to this day. The Peru match is the exact intersection where the tournament's structural vulnerabilities were allegedly exploited by the overwhelming shadow of state intimidation. The competitive focus of the Argentine squad shifted to the performance of a single athletic motor, Mario Alberto Kempes. Kempes struggled severely in the early stages of the tournament. During the first phase, he failed to score a single goal. Recognizing the mental block, Menotti made a highly specific psychological intervention. He instructed Kempes to shave off his signature mustache, suggesting a physical change would reset his mental state and bring him luck. This line chart tracks his goal production. Immediately after the mustache is removed, his performance sharply spikes, resulting in 6 consecutive goals in the decisive matches. While the military regime managed the tournament's logistics, Menotti's specific interventions in player psychology resulted in the 6 goals that ultimately secured the title. All of these threads collided on June 25th at the Estadio Monumental. The Netherlands had demonstrated severe tactical resilience. Even without Johan Cruyff, they proved the viability of their total football system by reaching their 2nd consecutive World Cup final. The entire tournament came down to razor-thin margins in the 90th minute, with the score tied at 1-1. Dutch forward Rob Rensenbrink found an opening and fired a final minute strike, violently ricocheting the ball off the goalpost. That single inch of wood is all that prevented a complete collapse of the Argentine state's massive propaganda narrative. The match went into a grueling extra time. There, the physical endurance and finishing power of Kempes and Daniel Bertoni sealed a 3-1 victory, securing the Golden Boot for Kempes. A totalitarian regime can fund the concrete, schedule the matches, and attempt to intimidate the opponents. But the 1978 World Cup proves that the visceral execution of the sport ultimately belongs to the athletes and to the unyielding passion of a people briefly transcending the darkness of their era.